Ladies and gentlemen, I have this thing, or I should say we, because it's not a me thing, it's a we thing. But we as the AFC have come up with a lot of cool things that I've said some things that I believe fit a lot of these narratives of these stories. And I have a thing that I say, hashtag babies for benefits. And what I mean when I say that is that I mean that it seems like the majority of these people in America, I can only speak for America, I don't know how it is around the rest of the world, but it seems like most people only have children for the benefits they can get from those kids. And we call that hashtag babies for benefits, right? In this particular story, you have a set of parents, so-called parents, this mother and father, but they are not the biological mother and father of this little girl. They are actually foster parents. So they volunteered to take in a kid, which is a noble idea. Don't get it twisted. But here's the caveat. Just because it's not your kid, and just because you feel like you're doing this kid a favor, that does not give you the right to abuse and misuse and just treat a kid like absolute crap. Doesn't work like that. Okay? I feel like if you're going to take a kid, you absolutely have to treat that kid just like it's your own kid. And in some cases, I just feel like we just need to do better by kids all the way around. Nonetheless, that is a beautiful, smiling little girl. And for the life of me, I cannot understand what this girl could have done wrong to meet the demise that she met. And I'm going to tell y'all, let's go get real crazy real fast. Daniel and Ashley Schwartz. Let me see if I can get them on the screen. These two idiots right here. Texas takes another L. Yet another L, Texas. Come on. What is my home state doing? I don't understand. I almost forgot. Let me shout out Diane Weed, who said, "We'll always do what I can to support the babies in the AFC. Sent in a $5 super chat, Diane Weed. Much love. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do, Jay. That is Julie M. Thank you for your $5 super chat." Let me just be real frank with you guys. I know y'all don't like me getting on here and making a bunch of fat jokes, but I'm going to tell y'all this. I find it highly crazy and egregious the fact that you have fat people, fat parents that don't do nothing about wanting to work out, don't do nothing about their health. They go to the buffet simply because they can eat all that they can put on their plate and then go back and get more and then go back and get more, right? People that don't know the definition of eating in moderation, right? People who don't know the difference between carbs and saturated fat, right? I find it highly crazy when they starve children and when they force these children to do these wild ass exercises that would kill any living human being and the majority of animals. They forced this little girl. Let me just tell y'all the story and tell y'all what she did. The mother and father are accused of capital murder. And y'all know Texas don't play about these super aggravated child abuse laws. The Odessa Police Department is accusing that mother and that father of causing the death of their 8-year-old daughter. It was technically their daughter because they had custody of her because they were foster parents. Okay? They're accused of murdering her because they forced her to jump on a trampoline in 110-degree heat with no water. No water at all. We got so much to talk about. Let me give a shout out real quick. Sarah Anderson said, "Love what you do." Sarah Anderson, not only thank you for your $5 super chat, but thank you for even listening to what I do. And I want to say thank you so much to you. And also Mashika said, "Thank you for being a voice for the children." Mashika, I did get your Cash App just now, so thank you very much. I'm going to try to stay on top of these so I can read them as soon as they come in. But thank you guys for getting us started off right. But let's keep going. They forced this 8-year-old baby to jump on a trampoline when it's hot as shit outside with no water. The 8-year-old girl that y'all see right here on my screen, this angel, her name is Jalen Ann Schwartz, according to an obituary, and was less than a month away from her 9th birthday when she died. The obituary described Daniel and Ashley Schwartz as her parents, along with Chris and Alicia Anderton. The Schwartzes are currently in jail awaiting capital murder charges, according to the Odessa police. Now, I thought they said that they're... Yeah, okay, I think I am right about that. Let's keep going. The biological mother says that nobody carries the guilt more than I do. So let's hear from the biological mom. So according to the obituary, she was born on November the 10th to David Rutherford and Alicia Anderton. The obituary noted that Jalen enjoyed being outdoors, ice skating, and horseback riding, and she liked history and science. It's also listed 4 of her siblings. 4 of her siblings, 2 with the last name of Schwartz, and the other 2 with the last name of Graham. So yes, I was right about the foster parents. Let me give a shout out and thank you very much to Make This Go Viral TV in the building. And I recently just found your channel. I don't know why it took me so long to find your channel, but I did subscribe to MTGV TV. But shout out to you and thank you so much, not only for always sharing my stories, but being here in the chat and being a channel member on top of that. How about that? On top of that. But thank you so much. Let me make sure I can say your name here. Hold on. Oh, Don Love. I am so glad I waited to read it first. Don Love in the chat said, how can I gift a membership? Oh, how can I gift a membership to another chat member? To be honest, Don, I don't think you can. And that really sucks because I wish I could just pick and choose who to give a channel membership to, and then it would be really easy to do it. But honestly, the only way they could do it is if they use their own account. But that's actually a very noble idea. So Don Love, I'll just answer you honestly, and I don't think you can because they won't be able to take advantage of the benefits because it has to be locked into the account that they're using. So hopefully that answered it, but thank you for taking on the $10 challenge to even ask me that. That's dope, but thank you very much. So yes, these were actually the foster parents, so we were correct about that. Now, according to the news station, Daniel and Ashley Schwartz, these 2 idiots right here, were not the biological parents, but were her guardians. The Odessa American reported that Corporal Steve Lesueur of OPD said that the Schwartzes were not the biological parents, but he did not provide any detail beyond that. Now, on October the 15th, Anderton, the mother, I believe, wrote on Facebook detailing why Ashley Schwartz, who she described as her stepsister, had her 2 daughters. In that post, she revealed that she had a drug problem, but had been clean for several years. Here's a big highlight point I want y'all to put in this story, okay? Because you guys know that I'm a big person to put the onus on the people who gave birth to these children. Everything else that gets felt for these children beyond that, I believe it's just the consequence of a bad situation and just some bad people out there. But I think in order to secure a good home and a good environment for these kids, it has to start with the biological mother and biological father. And you guys have actually seen times where the kids end up having to get snatched from the home and go to somebody else's home and some bad stuff happens. And then the biological parent will come out and be like, I can't believe they do this to my kid and this and that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait a minute. There would be no home for your kid to begin with if it weren't for those people, number one. And number 2, they should have never have gotten custody of your kids if you hadn't have done what you did in order to lose your kids. Hopefully on that point, I didn't lose anybody. If the mom didn't do what she did, by having a drug problem, being a druggie, then her kid wouldn't have been in this position to begin with. So the mother was the first person to fail this kid. Hopefully everybody understands where I'm coming from. That's actually the longer version of the message right there. That's her Facebook page, but y'all can see how long that is. And I keep telling y'all, don't send me long emails like that. Let me back that up. That's important. I need to say that again. If y'all send me an email that's really long like this, I'm probably not going to read it. I'm going to just be honest with you. Y'all better shorten it up, please. Because I keep asking people and they continue to keep sending me long essay emails. I'm not going to read that. It's too much for me to read. My reading comprehension is not that high. I'm just being honest with you, okay? But she claims she's been clean for several years. And everyone has the right to understand why my girls were placed with my stepsister to begin with. I am not perfect. A cop-out. I'm not perfect to anyone but God, and only He can judge me, which is also incorrect according to biblical scripture. It says, don't judge unless thou be judged. You judge, be expected to be judged. That's the way it's supposed to actually be said. So there is nothing that anyone could say out there about me that could hurt my feelings or put shame on me that I already haven't beat myself up over. And the world needs more shame, by the way. I am my biggest critic, and nobody carries the guilt more than I do, which I disagree with. The mother posted a text message. The biological mother posted a text message on Facebook that indicates that she sent it to Ashley Swartz at 9:29 a.m. on September 23rd, asking why she had been unable to see Jalen's sisters for 4 years. As I'm sure you know, I came to Odessa last weekend, which is the text, to get, the name is redacted, with my cousin. They wouldn't let us have her because, the name is redacted, says she is terrified of me. She called me the bad one and the one who borned us, gave birth. I'm a monster to her now. So here's my question. If y'all used to pray for me every night as a family, like you said, why is she afraid of me? So Ashley Swartz, the stepmother, or that woman right there, the foster mother, responded by saying that she had not spoken badly about Anderton to her daughters. All we were ever told was that you made bad choices, but that you loved them. We never talked bad about you because we had hoped you would get clean. She repeated that they never spoke horribly about her. I think I kind of want to skip some of this. This is just some minutia and all this back and forth bull crap. Now, Anderton is listed as the petitioner on a court document requesting custody or visitation for a different child from the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services and the Schwartzes. The documents were filed on June 18th of this year. And in that court document, the record is listed. I don't know why I can't talk today. A record is listed indicating that Anderton signed an affidavit in 2017 voluntarily relinquishing her parental rights. So I want you guys to understand how that works. That is something that's damn near permanent. So if anybody out there ever feels the need to relinquish their parental rights, just know that that's something you might not ever be able to undo. It's damn near a permanent thing. Let's keep going. Now, according to the police, 44-year-old Daniel Schwartz, that guy, and 34-year-old Ashley Swartz, that sun-baked looking woman with her face all extra red, had punished 8-year-old Jalen by not allowing her breakfast and telling her to jump on a trampoline outside without stopping. They denied her food, denied her water, and forced her to go jump on a trampoline 110 degrees outside. These two fat people right here. When Jalen stopped, police said, her parents told her she could not have any water despite incredibly hot temperatures. Now, according to the police statement, hashtag not my words, a search warrant was later obtained and the temperature of the trampoline read to be approximately 110 degrees and the ground was approximately 150 degrees. A medical call came to from the residence on August the 29th of 2020, and when the police arrived on scene, they found Jalen unresponsive and pronounced her dead, according to police. An autopsy revealed that she died of dehydration. This baby right here died of dehydration, and the manner of death was listed as a homicide. Both Schwartzes, the foster parents, were arrested, charged with capital murder, and placed in the Ector County Law Enforcement Center, according to the police. Now, I have a lot more to say, but let me give you guys the fair usage, and then we will go from there. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right. Let me see where we are with the thumbs up real quick. Let me check. Our goal is 400 thumbs up. We're not doing too bad. We're at 262. So as more people come, actually we've got 500 people here. So we can easily get to 400 thumbs up real quick. Please support these babies and just please click the thumbs up. Look down for a moment. Please click that thumbs up. Okay? Alrighty. Here we go.
A member of Jalen.
Whoa, a little bit loud. Turn this down. Okay, something is wrong. Let me try to do these clips again. Hold on just a moment. Something happened. How did the whole thing get deleted? All right, sorry about that. Let's try it again. Here we go.
A member of Jalen's family also gave us these photos of the young girl. Now, police investigation showed Jalen had been deprived, not being allowed to eat breakfast or drink water, and was made to jump on a trampoline without stopping in over 100-degree heat. She died of dehydration. This duo, Daniel and Ashley Schwartz, were slapped with charges after Odessa police found an 8-year-old girl named Jalen dead in August. The victim's family members tell us that Schwartzes were her guardians, not parents. A member of Jalen's family also gave us these photos of the young girl. Now, police investigation showed Jalen had been deprived, not being allowed to eat breakfast or drink water, and was made to jump on a trampoline without stopping in over 100-degree heat. She died of dehydration, according to Odessa police.
A Texas couple facing capital murder charges tonight for the death of an 8-year-old girl. Daniel and Ashley Schwartz were arrested this week in Odessa. The authorities are telling us the couple, who served as guardians for little Jalen, punished her back in August by forcing her to jump nonstop on a trampoline in triple-digit heat. Police responded to a medical call at the home. By the time they got there, that little 8-year-old had died as a result. Autopsy reveals she died from dehydration.
Now, let me address this real quick before we go back into the pictures. And before I give y'all my closing thoughts, keep in mind we still have 2 more stories coming right after this. To Tony, Miss June Bennett has been here supporting me for a long time. So, Tony, if you would, do not address my moderators like that, please. I'm just asking out of respect. If you feel like my moderator is spamming up the chat, then you don't have to even have the live chat open. But my moderators are doing the things that I need them to do, okay? But if you guys would just click that thumbs up, then there would be no need for us to even constantly remind people to do that, okay? So out of respect, please don't address my moderators like that. But let's get back to the story. I got a lot that I want to say, and somebody actually asked in the chat, how long did they actually make her jump on this trampoline? Which I think it's kind of like something you want to know. I'm not sure. They didn't specify the details. I'm sure that'll come out in court. But at the same time, you have to understand that however long she did it, it was enough. Said, okay, bye. All right. Let me get you up out of here. Have a nice night. Find another channel. Anyway, but however long they made this little girl do that, apparently it was enough that it caused her to die. From not feeding her to not allowing her to have water, it caused her to die. So no matter what it is, it was too much. Right? But common sense ain't common sense no more. Really not. But let me say this. There's a lot of parents out there that believe that being physical with kids and punishing kids is an appropriate course of action to make these kids do what you want them to do. And in this case, I think whenever you ask kids to do exercises and things like that, you have to be very careful and be very measured. You have to be very measured, okay? Because I can't even lie to you guys. I almost could understand this to a point. Because let me tell you guys this, that I'll be very transparent with you. When I used to be a camp counselor, we actually would have to exercise with the kids. Okay? And when I say exercise, if we had to put them on a discipline, then whatever discipline we put those kids on, whether it be on a jog or whether it be running laps or whatever the case is, we as counselors would actually run it with them. Okay? So we never put them on a discipline unless we were able to do the discipline ourselves. The reason I bring that up is because of this. If those two foster parents wouldn't do what it is they were punishing that little girl to do, and if they were not able to do it, then that little girl probably shouldn't have been able to do it. If they weren't going to stop eating, then they shouldn't have forced her to stop eating. If they weren't going to go without water, they shouldn't have forced her to go without water. If it's not something you would do to each other as husband and wife, then you probably should not be doing it to the kids. And I'm going to tell y'all, I feel real bad that I even have to say that and I have to talk to people like we're just uneducated, not smart, because most of us understands that this is just common sense stuff. You just don't do this. I don't know how much they even cared about this little girl because it wasn't their little girl. They ended up getting access to this little girl because her mama thought drugs were more important than her daughter. Huh? Anybody got a smart comment about what I just said? Or did I just speak some facts? This starts with the mother, the person who gave birth to this baby, was the person who should have been responsible for taking care of this baby and failed to do so. That baby almost had a chance at a second life with this second family, but this family didn't do right by her either. Nonetheless, that's why they're going to be punished, but mom absolutely needs to accept blame for this happening because mom chose drugs and her choosing drugs caused her child to die. I'm going to say that again because I know it's going to be somebody in my comment section going to say, the mama didn't do nothing wrong. She did nothing wrong. She was getting her life together. I know her since we was kids. Nope. This starts with the biological mother and biological father. If men are not going to step the hell up and be in their kids' life, then we can blame part of these kids ending up in these situations on the fathers. Now, in America, because we have so many households that are underneath single parent households like these type of mothers, and these mothers have a much greater responsibility to these kids because they don't have any help. So therefore, if they mess up, they don't have any backup. They don't have a support system. That leaves the kids at greater risk. So what that means is that this mom had a higher level of responsibility because she was a single mom. And she still thought that whatever she was smoking, whatever she was popping, whatever she was shooting up, her getting high, her getting dick, her getting whatever her personal pleasures were more important than this baby. Let me get this baby on the screen so y'all can see this baby. Than that precious kid right here. I think this angel deserved better. And if y'all think this angel deserved better, then you let me know. But I personally believe that this angel deserved a good mother. She didn't get it. I don't know where the dad is, but it doesn't seem like he was so much in the picture. And this little girl seems like she could have been a sponge to become anything. And we failed her. I ain't gonna say that the system failed her. It was her mother and her parents that failed her first. Then her foster parents came in and failed her as well. So all that needs to happen at this point is whatever is suitable underneath the Constitution or the law needs to apply as the punishment for these parents. If we have super aggravated child abuse laws, then they needs to fall under this. They killed this little girl and they deserve to be punished, regardless of what their intentions were. Okay? We got to be better. We got to demand better. And these people, like I said, I think they need to suffer and suffer for a long time. Hashtag TTO, hashtag TTT. I think it applies. But to this little angel, this little girl right here, and she ended up having to take on her foster parents' name. Jalen Ann Schwartz, young princess, R.I.P. If you guys are listening to the story, I need you guys to click that thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, where we spend our time and advocate for these children first. We don't believe that children should be taken for the benefits that you can collect from them. It's not right and it needs to stop. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to bring up story number 2. We have another story to tell real quick. Actually, we got 3 stories to tell, so hopefully you guys don't mind. Is it okay if I tell another story of a baby that I feel like needs a voice? If that's okay with you guys, please let me know. If you feel like these children don't need a voice, then you can let me know also. But I think it's important for these children to have a voice. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to save that one for last, because that one, boy, We're going to talk about this salt and pepper face shaker looking dude right here. This old buster ass sucker right here. We're going to talk about him. Let me see. This is 2 minutes. Oh, that's 26 minutes. Damn. I'm going to need to put this at the end. That's 26 minutes. Let me see. Let's go like that. There we go. Because that video was really long. All right, here we go. This is, which one is this one? Kendrick out of Baton Rouge. Here we go. Mr. Kendrick. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Let's talk about this. Matter of fact, how many thumbs up do we have? I'm going to continue to keep checking on that so my moderators don't have to do it so much. We're at 359. Guys, we're almost at our goal of 400 thumbs up. So if y'all will help us get there, that'd be awesome. Continue to keep clicking that thumbs up when you guys come in, okay? I appreciate that. Thank you, Keyshawn. Y'all can see what Keyshawn is writing in the chat. I appreciate that. Karanda, let me see. Karandra, is it Karandra or Karandra said, keep speaking for the babies. Thank you, guys. The story you just missed was the story that was in the middle of the thumbnail. So that's the only story that you missed so far. But the rewind feature is on, so if you need to rewind, you can just drag that red button back and you can listen to the story that we just talked about. But I need to tell this particular story. Let's talk about this. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a little bit of a serious issue, to say the least. Baton Rouge, Louisiana takes another L. How about that? They take another L, and I'm starting to get a little more familiar with some of the challenges in Louisiana. But nonetheless, this particular story is about a 2-year-old boy, and I want y'all to look at his face. This looks like the most innocent little boy of a place. Let's just talk about this. New Roads Police Department or excuse me, I said that wrong. The 2-year-old son of a New Roads Police Department officer was shot and killed. I completely read that wrong. Let me get the dad's face up on the screen so y'all can see exactly who I'm talking about. This man. That is a New Roads Police Department officer, and his own son was shot and killed on October the 15th. Approximately 3 days prior to today. 3 days ago. That's how recent this is. So most of you guys might not even have heard of this story yet. His son was shot and killed, but I'm going to tell you guys what happened. Police say that a man is now in custody for the child's murder and was involved in numerous violent incidents around the time of the child's murder, and reportedly even kidnapped a 9-year-old family member during a crime spree. Hashtag live by the thug, die by the thug. Hashtag stupid is as stupid thugs. Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. And we're going to talk about all of this stuff because I think that this applies. Okay? And I'm going to tell y'all why I feel like it applies in this particular story. Now, authorities say that they've arrested this 41-year-old salt and pepper shaker face looking man, Kendrick Miles, for allegedly being involved in a series of different crimes that span from the evening of October the 15th to the early morning hours of October the 16th. Currently, that man, Kendrick Miles, has been charged with first-degree murder, six counts of attempted first-degree murder. Damn! Let me read that again. Charged with first-degree murder, then he attempted 6 counts of first-degree murder. Then attempted second-degree murder. Then 3 counts of illegal use of a weapon. Then 3 counts of a convicted felon in possession of a firearm. Then home invasion. Then being a fugitive from the Baton Rouge Fire Department linked to an arson investigation. Wow. I just didn't think you could get hit with very many more charges. Sheesh. Let me give a shout out real quick to A. Beilstein. I got it right. A. Beilstein said, "Bless you and all that you're doing. We need to shout from the rooftops for the children." So thank you, A. Beilstein. I'm gonna have to look at your name, but I'll be able to say it correctly eventually. But I want to say thank you, A. Beilstein, for showing some love and sending in a wonderful donation, a $50 super chat donation, and that's going to stay up there at the top so the people can see what you sent in. Thank you so much for your Valve support. I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the type of man that doesn't need any more jail time. This dude right here don't need jail time. It sounds like this man needs hell time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you guys more and y'all tell me if you agree. Now, the Baton Rouge Police Chief Murphy Pauls stated that the crime spree allegedly committed by Kendrick Miles started at about 8 p.m. on October the 15th. Then police were called out to a shooting that took place at 3637 Osceola Street, where a male victim had reportedly suffered a non-fatal gunshot wound from a family member. So he shot a family member. The victim in the case identified the shooter as Kendrick Miles. Now, while detectives were working on that case of that shooting incident, the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office were also investigating a kidnapping of a 9-year-old child that happened at around 9 p.m. that same evening. Reportedly, that child is related to Kendrick Miles. Not long after the sheriff's office were looking into the kidnapping case, Miles allegedly opened fire at a resident located on 6095 Upland Avenue. That was where, let me get his face up on the screen so y'all can see it. That is where 2-year-old Azariah Thomas was fatally shot. This beautiful baby boy in his shirt, and I love his shirt. His shirt says, let me back it up. I get my ninja skills from my dad. I get my ninja skills from my dad. Not only is that an awesome shirt that he had on, but I think it's also awesome that he had an awesome representative as a father. His father was doing an awesome service, being a police officer, but his dad was also involved in his life. But I don't know why we should be having to pat people on the back for doing what fathers should do, being in their kids' lives, right? But we know here in I don't know, I guess the last 20, 30 years, 40 years, or whatever the case is, the dynamics of family, like I like to say, family ain't family no more. I guess family is what you make it. I guess family ain't husband and wife underneath the same roof. Family, I guess, can be a lot of different things. I don't know. But I'm gonna just say I'm just happy that he was in his son's life and he seems to really, really love his son, and he's a beautiful baby boy. His father, as you can see right there, his name is Vince Hutchison, and he's a police officer with the New Roads Police Department. There are currently no details out on whether his son was a targeted attack or not. The final incident occurred at a home located on 1431 Snipe Street, which culminated in a standoff between Kendrick Miles and the police. According to authorities, the male victim was non-fatally shot inside of the home on Snipe Street, and Kendrick Miles and the 9-year-old child that had been kidnapped hours earlier were inside of the home. Police said that an hours-long standoff concluded just before 3 a.m. on October the 16th, with the kidnapped child having not suffered any harm. Apparently, Chief Paul is familiar with Miles, as he mentioned back in 2004, Kendrick Miles was arrested for allegedly trying to kill 11 people. Mr. Salt and Pepper Shaker Face, I'm going to say that again just in case if y'all didn't hear me correctly. In 2004, Kendrick Miles, y'all see the court affidavit right there, was arrested for allegedly trying to kill 11 people. 11 human beings. Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven, not eight, not nine, not 10. Oh crap. Guys, I'm out of fingers. I can't count. I'm out of fingers. 11 people? How, Sway? How? How? I don't know if people are going to get mad at me for saying this, but if you ask me, I think that we need to have some type of federal reform for the state, for the entire state of Louisiana. And maybe they might get pissed off at me for saying this. I don't know. Because I really loved what used to be the culture of Louisiana, really for the food, for the music, and stuff like that. Not the bad stuff, because I know you get good with bad. But it seems like their court systems are messed up. It seems that they have a lot of issues with police and things like that. It seems that it used to be considered the so-called murder capital of the world. black on black crime or whatever you want to call it. So Louisiana has always had this very crazy stigma. Even the fact that we got people like Corey Miller and we have people like McKinley Phipps who are in jail on supposedly murdering people with no evidence. No physical evidence. Louisiana is one of the only states that allows there to be I can't remember how many people it is. Maybe y'all can tell me in the chat, but you can convict somebody of a life sentence without it being unanimous. And y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. It's one of the only states where you can get convicted in court and the jury not be unanimous. I just don't know how that works. How you can convict somebody on no evidence, but this dude who tried to kill 11 people, and I want y'all to think about this. Even just in this thing that he did 3 days ago, was trying to kill about 4 or 5 or 6 people, and he was probably going to do more until the police physically stopped him from doing it. Now, I don't know what his relationship is to the mom or to any of these people. I don't know, but I think there is something that prompted him, and I just don't believe that he just went crazy and just started killing people. I don't know if this had anything to do with drugs, but I'm hoping the fact that because this was a police officer's son, that I don't think there would be no type of drug ties tied to this. I just have faith that a police officer wouldn't be involved in nothing sketchy like that, right? I'm hoping he's a straight up stand-up guy. So then again, it makes you wonder what prompted all of this, and there has to be something, and my gut tells me that this was probably prompted over a woman. This man got emotional over a woman, maybe was dating somebody that broke up with him, because that's just been the nature of the majority of the stories that we've been talking about. But like I say, I don't know that. I digress for now, but I'm just telling you, I don't think this was random at all. I do not think this is random. If y'all think it was random, let me know. I don't think it was random. On some of the arrests pertain to drugs and weapons charges, and Kendrick Miles had even pled guilty to attempted second-degree murder back in 2005. Woo! And he apparently just keeps getting out of jail. How does he keep getting out of jail? How do you get out of 11 attempted murder charges? But I thought Black Lives Matter though. Huh? I can guarantee you that the majority of those people he tried to kill or did kill weren't of any other race other than black. What do y'all want to bet? They say it's unclear exactly how much time Kendrick Miles served for that previous conviction. But the way that Chief Paul reflected on the series of crimes allegedly committed by Kendrick Miles recently, he expressed his disdain for habitually running into people that cycle in and out of the criminal justice system. We're tired of seeing the same individuals. This is what I hear from my officers, and we have to do better than that. Major Todd Morris from the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office also commented on the case, noting how domestic situations, such as with the Kendrick Miles, can result in widespread tragedy. He said domestic situations. If you ask me, that sounds like this had something to do over a relationship. Something prompted this. Let me give a huge shout out to Diane Weed, who joined us on the $50 challenge. Said, keep doing God's work, Jay. So to Diane Weed, if you are listening to the sound of my voice, I want to say thank you so much. I didn't even notice this. We got people taking on the $50 challenge, y'all. That is awesome. And I have one more I need to read if you do not mind. It is on the PayPal side. We have another one. Let me see if I can get it to pull up, if it's going to freeze. Come on, PayPal. And again, if you guys are watching, do me a favor and please click that thumbs up. It only takes you just a moment. If you would, that would help me out quite a bit. And I don't know if I can get my PayPal to open up. Damn it. Because I was wanting to make sure I didn't read your name unless you wanted me to read your name. So I'll read it as soon as I can get this thing to come back up. Damn. Anyway, let's keep going. We talk about domestic violence. Here's another prime example of a domestic violence issue that has turned from a kidnapping to a shooting to the unfortunate death of a 2-year-old. Both the Baton Rouge Police Department and the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office are continuing to investigate this case and understand what led up to this and what all occurred. I'm going to tell you guys this. Whatever woman it was, I don't know if it was this boy's mom or some other woman that caused this man to do what he did. That's actually an old mugshot of him right there, if I'm not mistaken. But I believe that there was some woman that was in a relationship with this man. Some woman that was desperate enough to be in a relationship with a man who was damn near caught up or was having the finger pointed at him for 11 murders. I don't know how any woman on God's green earth could be that desperate of somebody who could have potentially have been responsible for almost 20 people's death. But we're not going to call that mass murder. We're not going to call that active shooter. We're not going to call it any of that. But I guess that's just a normal day in the black community. But nonetheless, let me give you guys the fair usage. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Okay. I think I know who this is, but let me make sure. Okay. Pause that real quick. This message comes in. Damn, I'm trying to see who this is. I want to make sure I read you correctly. Sharon said, when I get blessed, I bless the babies. Keep up the beautiful work you do for the kids. I love my AFC family. I did something wrong and I lost my wrench. Did I do something wrong? Lost my wrench. No. Matter of fact, I'm trying to figure out which one is this because I don't want to offend anyone. Okay, I need to figure out who this is real quick. So I don't want to say thank you for your $50 super not super chat, but your PayPal. I need to figure out who this is. So if you're still in the chat, like I said, when you send that kind of an amount that you've sent over the past few days, you absolutely should have your wrench, because it's really a symbol and a token of my appreciation. So if you're out there Sharon J, let me know. Say something in the chat. I might have messed up with that. Oh, never mind. I see you. Got you. Boom. Got you right there. So my apologies, Sharon Stevenson in the chat. So thank you very much, not only for your huge contribution the other day on the live show, but thank you for the one you sent just now. I am truly, truly honored. So thank you, Sharon Stevenson. Sorry about that. I got to remember to keep those riches on there. I think I was trying to cut down on some of them, and I might have done that accidentally. But I got you back. Let me know if you have your moderator wrench back. All right, now. Let's go ahead and tell a couple of these news stories real quick. And thank you, Tina Taylor, taking on the $5 challenge stick. Keep it up. And thank you, Tina Taylor. Here we go.
Man was responsible for a violent rampage through the streets of Baton Rouge that left an innocent little boy dead and several families on edge. But as the 9 News investigators have learned, this is far from that man's first round of violence. This one man, Kendrick Miles, tied to 4 separate crimes overnight. Baton Rouge police saying he unleashed raw terror all across the capital city.
All incidents involving one suspect.
Chief Murphy Paul says the man kidnapped a 9-year-old family member off of Bluebonnet around 8 o'clock last night. Not long after that, he barged into this home on Osceola Street and shot a man in the hand. Police say his one-man rampage was brought to an end after an hours-long standoff with officers, but not before he got into a gunfight with another family member at this home on Snipe Street, then opened fire on this home on West Upland, shooting and killing a 2-year-old identified as Azariah Thomas.
Beautiful soul. And you know, when we're out there and we're trying to find comforting words, it's hard.
The city's top cop appealing to everyone to stop the violence and just be better, saying someone somewhere had the information to stop this before it started.
And the story begins to be the same. It's the same story. Somebody somewhere in that person's inner circle knew something where they could have picked up the phone and called law enforcement to prevent that shooting from happening.
The 9 News investigators have learned this is not Miles's first run-in with the law. Court records show the 41-year-old tried to burn this house down back in June, the house right down the street from the home he's now accused of shooting up on Osceola.
I almost forgot that I forgot to mention that in the story. On top of trying to murder 11 people and all of those other charges, I forgot to tell y'all, he also tried to burn down a house, and he pretty much did burn down this house, because you see that house is still ruined. Man, there's just no reform for some people. He needs to be put down. Seriously, that dude needs to be put down. He has no more purpose on this earth. And you said, please stop cursing. Why? Why should I stop cursing? I like to curse.
Neighbors who did not want to go on camera tell me the home he tried to burn down was where his ex-girlfriend lived. In 2004, he was linked to another round of violence. Back then, he faced all these charges when police say he tried to kill 11 people in 4 different incidents within a month. All of it, police believe, was to get back at his ex-girlfriend. He had spent some time in jail after she filed assault charges against him.
We're dealing with the same people over and over and over again.
While their job is far from over, tonight, Chief Paul says the community is safer with this man off the streets.
And this criminal who took the life of a baby, we have to do better than that.
That man don't deserve to be living at all, and I rarely say anything like that. But that dude does not need to have breath in his body anymore. Like, there are just some people that I just think, you know what? Go ahead and strap them down to the chair and put them out of their misery. To damn near be responsible for 20 people almost being dead? Man, it's just some people, man. Some people just don't need to be here.
This man accused of going on a murderous rampage and killing a 2-year-old girl. Good evening. Kendrick Miles' alleged reign of terror began yesterday. Police linked him to 4 separate incidents: the killing of a 2-year-old girl, the kidnapping of a child, the shootings of 2 men, and taking a 9-year-old hostage.
The one he killed, I believe that is a 2-year-old boy, if I'm not mistaken. But I think they got that confused between the boy and the girl. But anyway, let's keep going.
Tonight, he's locked up.
Baton Rouge, we can do better. And the reason why we know, because there are success stories.
Baton Rouge Police Chief Murphy Paul frustrated Friday.
We're dealing with the same people over and over and over again.
By a crime spree that unfolded and is all linked back to the same man.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, for people who don't want me to curse, like, I get it, you know, but y'all have to really go back and watch some of, like, my early videos. Like, the way I talk now is not nearly as bad as what I used to. This is the toned down version of me. So you would have hated my channel before. But I do get what you're saying. I do know that y'all want the commentary to be a little bit cleaner. But I'm sorry. This is like what makes me me. This is what makes us the AFC. We speak our mind and we speak our thoughts, and we're just going to give it to you raw and uncut. That's just what we're going to do. Look at the people taking on the $50 challenge. Wow. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 or 6 people that have taken on the $50 challenge. I think that's a first-time donor. Is that a first-time donor? Fire Girl said, Jay, I appreciate everything that you do and the AFC family that you do for these children. Our communities need more people like you and the AFC family to bring awareness to what's happening to our babies. Fire Girl, well said. And I truly, truly thank you so much for believing in what we do. But not only that, but fighting it in your heart and in your budget and taking on the $50 challenge, you as well as Diane Weed, as well as A. Beilstein, as well as Sharon Stevenson, as well as just so many other people, man. I can't name everybody, and I don't want y'all to think I forget about anybody when I don't read off all the names right away. But thank you, Fire Girl, and the rest of you guys so much. I truly appreciate that. Oh, and you're a monthly member too. Look at that. And guys, these are people who are already finding it in their budget to contribute monthly. So I am absolutely, truly honored to be a part of this journey. I think this is not a me thing. This is a we thing. And I'm honored to be on this journey with you guys. Because I know y'all care about children. I've always cared about children. And I'm just happy to have a channel where people come here and they support what we're trying to build. And we're trying to do this together. I like your delivery. It resonates with us, so we don't have to go cuss for us. Okay. So who is that? Is it Haggy baby? But I appreciate that. I think I understand what you were trying to say, but I want to say thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that.
One of these cases was thoroughly investigated and probable cause was established to charge Miles.
This map illustrates 4 different incidents. Police say Miles is responsible for all of them. It all began in the 2600 block of Osceola, where a man was shot after a home invasion. That man identified Kendrick Miles as the suspect. As Baton Rouge police were investigating that, the sheriff's office was investigating a kidnapping of a minor off of Bluebonnet near Ridgecrest. Then the unthinkable happened. In the 6000 block of West Upland Avenue, police say Miles fired multiple shots into a house. A 2-year-old girl was hit and died from her injuries. Police say after Miles left, he went to the 1400 block of Snipe, where he fired multiple shots at another victim.
If y'all just listen to this story, and I agree with People of 7 said, I don't think it was random. I don't think this was random either. Do y'all agree with that? I don't think this was random. I do not think that this was random. There's something going on here that caused this dude to snap. I don't know whether it was over a woman, but y'all see that he tried to burn down an ex-girlfriend's house. Like, I don't even know how do you even get out of jail over that, let alone taking a 2nd-degree murder charge and you getting out of jail, but then to be accused of or being at least tied to 11 murders, and then even more now. Something just ain't right, like Keith Sweat would say.
Rouge police were investigating that. The sheriff's office was investigating a kidnapping of a minor off of Bluebonnet near Ridgecrest. Then the unthinkable happened. In the 6000 block of West Upland Avenue, police say Miles fired multiple shots into a house. A 2-year-old girl was hit and died from her injuries. Police say after Miles left, he went to the 1400 block of Snipe, where he fired multiple shots at another victim and took a 9-year-old hostage. It all came to an end around 2 a.m. after a large law enforcement presence. Baton Rouge police say Miles was well known to them. The chief says he was arrested in 2004 for another shooting, but was out of jail last night when he went on another alleged reign of terror. In 2004, Miles was arrested for 11 counts of attempted murder after police say he tried to kill 11 people.
Guys, I'm so sorry. Matter of fact, to the person that said I need to stop cursing so much, I don't even remember even cursing that much in this particular story. At least not yet. But let me throw a few cuss words in there now. How in the hell are you arrested for 11 murders and get off on 11 murders? How is that even possible? Listen at this again.
Multiple shots at another victim and took a 9-year-old hostage. It all came to an end around 2 a.m. after a large law enforcement presence. Baton Rouge police say Miles was well known to them. The chief says he was arrested in 2004 for another shooting, but was out of jail last night when he went on another alleged reign of terror. In 2004, Miles was arrested for 11 counts of attempted murder.
11 counts of attempted murder.
After police say he tried to kill 11 people.
He tried to kill 11 people. Please understand, this dude still had people's houses that he could be a part of. They were still feeding this thug, housing this thug, and probably sleeping with this thug. Hashtag live by the thug, die by the thug. Hashtag stupid is the stupid thugs. Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. Hashtag no jail time. Give them hashtag hell time.
Whatever the penalty, many believe it was not enough.
From our task force efforts, where we are asking them to strongly consider federal charges on these repeat offenders. And that's why we're leaning heavily on it, because we are tired of seeing the same individuals. This is what I hear from my officers.
Miles is charged with a long list of crimes, including first-degree murder, kidnapping, and 6 counts of attempted murder.
Press conference.
And this one is just a little bit of a longer version. So guys, let me know if y'all want to hear this. This particular news conference is about, I can't even lie, it's about 20 minutes long. If y'all want me to skip this, he just gives you more detail. People have said, I wish I had $50. Don't worry about that. Like I said, you know, for people who can afford it in their budget, COVID-19 and all of these restrictions and people losing their jobs and stuff, it affected a lot of people out here. So like I said, if you're one of those people that were affected and you just got to take care of home and take care of your family, then please take care of your family. Don't worry about, you know, trying to keep up with other people have been able to find in their budget. Okay, so you guys can always do something skipple. I said skipple. You guys can always, because I read Rochella, she said don't skip, and I said skipple. Anyway, but you guys can always do something simple as just click the thumbs up and share the story, and that actually still helps me. The more people you bring to the channel, the more it actually helps our cause. So that's actually something you can do that doesn't cost anything at all. So I'll let y'all hear some of this. Some of y'all are saying skip it. Some of y'all are saying play it. It's kind of long. 20 minutes long. We're not going to listen to this whole thing. I'm going to play a couple of minutes and then we're going to skip to the next story.
To address several incidents that happened in the Baton Rouge area on yesterday. There are 4 incidents specifically that I want to speak about where our Baton Rouge police officers as well as the sheriff's office responded to shooting incidents in the city of Baton Rouge and within the parish. On October 15, 2020, at approximately 20 hours, BRPD uniformed patrol officers responded to a shooting incident at 3637 Osceola Street. Upon their arrival, responding officers located a male victim suffering a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. Our Major Assaults Division was contacted.
He's actually about to answer that question for you, if I'm not mistaken, Genevieve. But no, the little boy didn't survive.
And responded to the shooting scene. Detectives contacted the victim, who advised that a family member by the name of Miles kicked in the front door of the residence. Miles entered the residence without authorization and got into a physical altercation with the victim. Miles produced a handgun and shot the victim. That subject is identified as Kendrick Miles, date of birth 4/25 of 1979. While investigating the Osceola shooting incident, detectives learned that
the little 2-year-old boy was shot and killed on October the 15th, 3 days ago. So his name is, I don't know why they put his name down so far here. Azariah Thomas. 2-year-old Azariah Thomas was shot and killed Thursday night by 41-year-old Kendrick Miles.
the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office was investigating a kidnapping incident on Bluebonnet Boulevard. Miles was identified as a suspect of kidnapping a minor child who is also a family member. The Baton Rouge Police Department uniformed patrol officers then responding to a shooting incident on 6095 West Upland Avenue. Upon arrival, officers discovered a suspect, Miles, had fired multiple times inside the residence. A juvenile was struck by the gunfire and succumbed to the injuries, 2 years old. Our Baton Rouge Police Department uniformed patrol officers responding to another incident, a shooting incident at 1431 Snipe Street at approximately 21:51 hours. Upon their arrival, responding officers located a male victim who advised that Miles, who is a family member, fired multiple gunshots at him. The Major Assault Division was contacted and responding to the scene. Baton Rouge Police Department Uniform Patrol Division, our K-9 Division, our Aviation Division, our Special Response Team, along with the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office responding to that scene. We secured it after several...
I know I missed this one earlier, but I want to make sure if Sharon is in, or I said Sharon, Sylvia. So Sylvia, if you're in the chat, say keep doing great work for our future and send in a $5 cash app. So if you are listening, Sylvia, I did get it and I wanted to shout you out and say thank you very much. I know I didn't shout you out earlier, so I wanted to make sure and shout you out. Also to Lisa in the Venmo. Lisa, if you're listening, I got your Venmo and I wanted to say thank you very much. Why is that thing echoing like that? It never echoes like that. Sheesh. Never echoes like that. Let me turn my mic down so maybe my mic is a little hot. Okay. Sounds a little bit better. We also have another PayPal, and I think I know who this is. Let me make sure I can read your name, though. Come on, PayPal. What the hell? It's like PayPal works fine, and then they keep doing all these updates, and then it just messes up. It's really irritating.
Hours to about 2:45 in the morning, I believe it was, we were able to take Miles into custody and locate the kidnapped minor child who was safely returned to his family. So that's 4 incidents. Kidnapping on Bluebonnet Boulevard that the EBR Sheriff's Office is investigating. The 3637.
Okay, so we have one more person that joined us on the $50 challenge side, and y'all know who it is. That is Miss Nisi in the chat. Miss Nisi says, never miss a live. Here for the children, of course, with the purple and gold emoji hearts. I always love seeing those. Miss Nisi, if you are in the chat, I wanted to make sure and shout you out. I did just get yours in the PayPal and wanted to say thank you for joining Fire Girl, as well as Diane Weed and so many other people who, like I said, were able to find it in their heart and in their budget to donate $50 on the $50 challenge. That is awesome, and I want to say thank you very much. I'm here, not missing out on you at all. Love AFC family because we are all here and we love the kids. Facts. Thank you, Sylvia Phillips. I appreciate that.
Osceola Street, 6095 West Upload Street, and also 1431 Snipe Street, all incidents involving one suspect. Each one of these cases was thoroughly investigated, and probable cause was established to charge Miles with the following crimes. First-degree murder, 6 counts of attempted first-degree murder, attempted second-degree murder, illegal use of a weapon, 3 counts, possession of a firearm by persons convicted of certain felonies, 3 counts, home invasion, and Miles was also arrested as a fugitive for warrants by the Baton Rouge Fire Department for an arson that had occurred, and also for kidnapping by the EBR Sheriff's Office.
He better not get off on these charges. I don't know how you're able to avoid charges, jail time, prison time, hell time for 11 murders and more, and burning down a house, and then all of the charges he has on him right now.
I want to highlight the great work that our detectives did. Our detectives are still working these incidents, these shooting incidents, as we speak. And the coordinated effort and how expeditiously we worked this case alongside the Sheriff's Office, and how they were able to connect the dots to these incidents. It makes us proud to see how we coordinate with the Sheriff's Office. So I'm going to ask Todd Morris, who's here, to speak briefly on that.
After this dude right here, depending on how long he is on his speech, I'm going to let him speak, and then I'm going to cut it after this, because this thing is really, really long, yo.
Chief, as the chief mentioned, we responded to a alleged kidnapping incident off of Blue Bonnet Ridge Point yesterday around 9 o'clock or so. And very quickly in this investigation, we had information that, a minor child had been abducted by a family member. We talk about domestic violence, we talk about the violence in our cities, and here's another prime example of a domestic violence issue that has turned.
I want to know what woman was desperate enough to sleep with this dude. 11 murders, and there was still some woman who stooped low enough to sleep with that dude, to be in a relationship with somebody who committed 11 murders and probably more than that.
From a kidnapping to a shooting to the unfortunate
and still didn't do life in prison.
Death of a 2-year-old. And that's a prevalent issue that's taking place in our city and around the country, unfortunately. But very quickly on the investigation, our detectives from the Sheriff's Office realized that the Baton Rouge City Police was working a shooting also that had some vehicle description that matched ours, and they very quickly connected the dots and realized we were looking for the same suspect. And that's very important, but our resources are pulled together, working jointly. We're following up on that information, sharing that information in real time very quickly. Within just a matter of a couple hours, all these were connected together and realized we were looking for the same person, and we were joined together and work expeditiously together by sharing that information and working together to bring this person to justice quickly. And we're very fortunate that that other juvenile child was returned to his family safely and unharmed, and that's the main thing, he was unharmed. And so we're very fortunate that, and we just thank the good Lord for that. And we appreciate our partnership with our local law enforcement agents that we have here, not only with the city, the state, but everyone here. And it requires us working together, but not only us, it requires the citizens to help us do this. We can't do it alone. And we appreciate the work that the citizens help us with in sharing information. It's a collaborative effort from our whole community to be successful as we are.
All right, guys, I think that's good enough. Like I said, that's a whole nother 17 minutes of video, and it's just too much to try to digest right now. So let me give you guys my closing thoughts about this. My closing thoughts about this is I have no idea, and I don't want to put it on the mom or whomever that was dealing with this dude, had this dude living in his house or whatever the case is. But I think as more details come out, we'll learn more with this story and what prompted this man to go into this spiral, this rage, because he was already crazy and destructive and murderous as it was. And I guess you just feel like you're invincible if you're able to avoid 11 murder charges, huh? I guess a person would feel like they're untouchable and they can do whatever they want to do if you avoided 11 entire human being murder charges. There's something very wrong with that. That's why I say I think that Louisiana might need to just be reformed all the way around. Just start over, come up with a new system. Because something is clearly wrong here. Like I said, when you have somebody like McKinley Phipps and you have somebody like Corey Miller who are in jail for life in prison for murders that they have no facts on. They have no evidence. No physical evidence against them. And had a jury that was not unanimous that convicted them to life in prison. But you have somebody here, 11 murders, and then the murders he just committed 3 days ago, and he was going to continue to keep killing because they weren't able to stop him. While he was over doing one criminal act, he went to another place and did a criminal act, and now the police that went over here and investigated that. After he finished that criminal act, then he went over to another place, did another criminal act. Then the police go investigate that before they were able to finally catch up with him. So he was just going from place to place to place to place, just burning down shit, shooting shit, killing people. But yet, he's been out on the streets this entire time. I think that's highly egregious, and there's something very, very wrong with that. Now, again, I'll say this. That little baby boy, that officer's son, could not speak for himself, nor could he defend himself. But he just seems like a very, very innocent kid in this situation. I feel bad for his biological father right there, the police officer. I feel bad that this little boy did not get an opportunity to become something great. He has an awesome smile. He seemed like a beautiful kid, a beautiful soul, just like any kid would be. I don't know why they kept referring to it in the story. Maybe they got their information wrong about him being a little girl, but from what I understand, that's a boy. But like I say, sometimes they get details wrong in some of the stories whenever they're reporting. You know, sometimes they don't even list whether it's a boy or girl. They'll just say there was a 2-year-old child. But nonetheless, we do know that that little boy's name is Azariah Thomas. And I don't even want this dude's face up on my screen no more. So let me get Kendrick Miles off my screen. And let me say, and I love this picture right here. This is my favorite picture of him. I get my ninja skills from my dad. That's a awesome dad shirt. It's a cute, awesome, awesome shirt. And this little baby boy deserved an opportunity to grow up and become something great. Thank you guys for putting the prayer hand emojis up in the chat, because that's where I'm at with it right now. And like I said, the least they could do is at least lock this dude up permanently. Give him the death penalty. Y'all got to do something, because he cannot continue to be out in society however he's doing it. Okay? So let's get justice for Azariah Thomas and so many other people who lost their lives to Kendrick Miles. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We're the AFC, where we believe that children matter. We put children first. From my heart to yours, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening to the stream. Make sure you guys subscribe and click that thumbs up. We actually have one more story to tell. Can I tell you guys one more story? Because this story actually involves a man who is actually still on the loose. He's currently being looked for. So you guys can actually help us tonight. If somebody out there knows this guy, I need his ass found. I need his ass locked up. I need his ass to suffer for what he did to a little girl. Okay? We're going to talk about this. Let's see. I only was able to find one news video on this, and that is really, really sad, man. This story is really important, and I only found one entire news video. Where's my thing at? I need the 3 right there. All right, y'all, give me just a hot second. Y'all, hold on. Bear with me just a moment, okay?
Nora's Authentic Designer has some of the most glamorous and stylish handbags your girl has ever seen. So ladies, if you want to get fly, and fellas, if you want to take care of your lady, please be sure to go to www.noras915.com. www.noras915.com. That's right, www.noras915.com.
Hello listeners, come mask up with Keyline Designs, where you reap what we sow. We offer essential handcrafted face masks made with 100% cotton, equipped with a built-in filter and a slot for refillable filters. Our masks have many uses like riding motorcycles, ATVs, while out in public places, outside exercising, lawn and gardening, and helps prevent the spread of germs. We offer bling, sports logos, monograms, many assorted fabrics and colors. We make child-sized masks starting at the age of 2. Come join us today for the launch of our new website at keylinedesigns.com. Please be sure to like and follow our page on Facebook. Our links can be found in the description box of this video. Thank you.
All right. You guys say y'all want me to take off my Keyline Designs mask. Guys, make sure and shop at Keyline Designs for your face mask needs. This is a Keyline Design AFC mask. So make sure you guys go to keylinedesigns.com. Make sure you guys check those out. I'll go ahead and take off my Keyline Designs mask. Right? I'm going to take it. I'm going to put it right here. Excuse me. No, you didn't miss the stream entirely. We're on story number 3. So if you guys can do me a favor, post that in the chat and let people know that we are on story number 3. Because that's how many of these things are happening. That's how many of these stories are happening, is that if I have to talk about one of these stories, I usually have to do them 2, 3, 4, 5 stories at a time. And I'm still not able to catch up, guys. I'm still swamped in emails, swamped in stories. Are you guys not disturbed by that? I'm going to say that again. I'm doing 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 stories a night, and I still can't keep up with the current stories, let alone stories that maybe you guys just didn't hear about that I haven't given my commentary on. That's a whole nother thing. I can't even keep up with the stories that are happening just within the past couple of months. If that doesn't scare you guys, then I don't know what will. This one's going to be crazy. So let's talk about this. Story number 3. Story number 3. Hopefully I didn't miss anything that you guys said in the chat. Guys, we are over 500 thumbs up. You guys have done an amazing job. So thank you guys very much for sticking with us. 536 thumbs up. So like I said, if there are new people that come in, people can replace them and just click that thumbs up, and it'll continue to share our stream until we finish with what we got to say. This is a beautiful little girl. Beautiful little girl. Smile like an angel. I just think all kids are just beautiful. Can y'all post that in the chat? All kids are beautiful. I want everybody to post that in the chat. All babies are beautiful. All kids are beautiful. I love them all. I just wish us as parents, we could all get together and just do better by these kids. We shouldn't have to go through the system for us that procreated with each other to be able to work together and come up with viable solutions for our kids. We ought to be able to work together. I was just telling a friend about that earlier, and I want to give a salute to my friend. I know she's probably asleep, but we talked about that earlier, and the fact that I can admire that her and her ex-husband, as much tumultuous stuff that they've been through, that they're always able to come together and do what's best for their kid. I can respect that. I admire that. All kids are beautiful. Matter of fact, I need to go back and see. Let's see. Damn, I don't know if I could go back that far. Diane's already got her wrench, and then we had let me see, that was Fire. Let me see if Fire is in there. Fire Girl. Also. So there we go. Like I said, when y'all donate that kind of money, man, I'm going to definitely make you guys moderators just off top. And it's not necessarily a money thing, but it's just a symbol of my appreciation for what you guys do. So Fire Girl, you and Bill Stein, and I already gave damn it, who was that? I just rolled past it. And Diane Weed, I already gave her wrench as well. So now you guys have your moderator wrench. But like I said, I'll swap them out from time to time. But like I said, just look at it as a symbol of my appreciation, okay? Let's go ahead and talk about this beautiful little girl that y'all see on my screen, man. We got to start doing better by these kids. Here we go. Guys, beautiful little baby girl right here. And I want y'all to know what happened to this little girl. I'm going to try to give you guys as much detail as I possibly can. And it involves this idiot right here on my screen. This little girl deserves so much better. I'm going to tell y'all this story. Anthony Steele. Anthony Steele. Like Anthony Hardaway, like Penny Hardaway. Anthony. What do you want to name your kid, ma'am? I want you to name him after me. After me, if you didn't get the joke. Anyway, Anthony Steele story just did not add up. The homo man, now the target of a manhunt. He is currently on the loose. So y'all need to be strapped up and watching out for this dude. Just be careful. I'm not saying do nothing to him. Make sure y'all are careful if you see him, because he's probably armed and dangerous. He is now the target of a manhunt in the death of this baby. That is 4-year-old. Let me go back. I don't want his face on my screen right now. That right there is 4-year-old Janari Hawkins. And told investigators that his girlfriend's daughter soiled her underwear while he was watching her in a New Orleans hotel room on October the 3rd, according to court records obtained by the Times-Picayune New Orleans Advocate. Hashtag not my words. I'm going to say that again so you guys understand what I just said. I'm going to always reiterate because I want to make specific points. Let me say thank you to Amber Magic and welcome to the channel membership. Thank you very much. And guess I stay strapped. I go strapped everywhere. Matter of fact, I know my laws of reciprocity. Anytime I go somewhere and I travel with my weapon, I make sure that I can take my weapon into that state with my current license, because I have 2 licenses between Oklahoma and Texas. And those laws reciprocate. So I know where I can go and where I can't go with my weapon before I go anywhere. Because if I'm going out, we going out with a fight. Just telling you. Anyway, I'll read this part again. His girlfriend's daughter, right Rewind. His girlfriend's daughter. Hello? His girlfriend's daughter soiled her underwear while he was watching her. But tell you what sucks about that. These type of mothers, and it's not all mothers, it's not all women, hashtag not all. Smart people already understand that I'm not talking about all women. But how is it that I have probably about 1,000 stories, literally, of these mothers and their fucked up boyfriends? I might have to bleep that out on a replay, but I gotta say it. Where is the biological father at? And why is it that it's always a boyfriend? And let alone that, why is it that it's always a boyfriend that becomes the babysitter? How does babysitter and boyfriend go together? How do those two words go together? Boyfriend, babysitter. Boyfriend, babysitter. How do these two things go together? Can somebody please tell me where the logic is in that? Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. Hashtag live by the thug, die by the thug. Hashtag stupid is the stupid thugs. Hashtag TTO. Hashtag TTT. Hashtag hood hoes love hood dick. Hashtag no jail time, give them hell time. Boyfriend, babysitter. What do those two things have in common? Let's see. Not a damn thing, huh? Nothing. This mother likes sleeping with a thug. That does not qualify him to be a babysitter. Children have accidents. It's part of life. It's part of learning. If you can't handle a child that's going to pee and poo on themselves, which that's just going to be a life thing. It happens. If you can't clean it up, if you can't stand it, if you think it's nasty, if you think the kid needs to be beaten or punished or physically disciplined or take their face and rub it in it, then I'm sorry. If you're one of those parents, then you are not a suitable parent. You should not have kids. You should probably be in jail if you believe that you need to beat up a damn kid because they had a potty training accident. Yes, I said potty training accident. The little girl is 4. She's learning. It happens. Let alone that. Let's go back to this point. I noticed nobody said this in the chat. Said, does somebody want to explain to Melanin DOC MD what TTO and TTT means? Tag Melanin DOC and tag them if y'all know what it means, and tell Melanin Doc what hashtag TTO and TTT means. Because I can't say it out loud right now. I'm trying to clean the channel up a little bit. Why is it that nobody in the chat addressed the fact that they are living in a hotel room? Let me read it again. Anthony Steele is now the target of a manhunt in the death of a 4-year-old girl by the name of Janari Hawkins. Told investigators that his girlfriend's daughter soiled her underwear while he was watching her in a New Orleans hotel room on October the 3rd. So he gave the toddler a bath while the other children in his care slept. Yep. More children around, and these women are leaving these children with these thugs. They're not fathers. They're not men. And in a lot of cases, they're not even human. Bathing this woman's daughter, watching this woman's daughter. Like, so where was the mom at? Where was the biological father at? He gave the toddler a bath while the other children in his care slept. How many other kids were there? Just people don't give a damn about these kids. He tried to say that he smoked some weed, and he smoked weed earlier in the day, which made him tired. And he decided to take a nap and leave the toddler alone in the tub. How does that make any freaking sense? He said he smoked weed earlier in the day and it made him tired, and he took a nap while the little girl was in the tub. Have you guys not noticed how many stories I've done this year of people, of mothers, of boyfriends, or whomever, are supposedly these kids are dying in the tub? Y'all remember that? And come to find out, these kids have blunt force trauma. These kids have been beat up. These kids have been stabbed. These kids have been thrown out of windows, right? They lie on these kids. They come up with these outlandish stories about what happened to these kids. But guys, it gets worse. I'm telling y'all, it gets worse. Matter of fact, thank you, Miss June Bennett. That's why she's here. Said anyone with information regarding Steele's whereabouts should call the NOPD homicide detective Barnett Morton 504-658-5300 or Crime Stoppers of Greater New Orleans 504-822-1111. That's why I love Miss June Bennett. I didn't even ask her to post that, and she posted that. And I'm truly, truly honored that she just helps us so much with so many little things that I just can't get to sometimes. And I thank you, Miss June Bennett, for that. He tried to claim and said later he heard a thump and some splashing, so he ran into the bathroom and pulled Janari out of the tub. That's not his daughter. So supposedly, if we're going to go on his words, he had a little girl naked that's not his daughter while the mom ain't there. He was worried she had swallowed water, so he pressed on her stomach with his hands. After determining the child was breathing normally, he told police he dressed her and put her to bed. Oh my God, these stories. How many of y'all believe any of this? They come out with like the most outlandish stories. He said, I'm going to read this again. I got to read this again. Sometimes I find it hard to even believe what I'm even reading. He said he put her in the tub. He got high and forgot she was in the tub. And he was woke up because he heard a thumping and a splashing. So he went into the bathroom, pulled her out of the tub. He was worried that she swallowed water, pressed on her stomach with his hands, which is not how you do CPR, stupid ass. After he determined the child was breathing normally, he got her dressed and put her to bed. That's what this baby is suffering through. People lying on her. But wait, let's keep going. Most curiously, Steele said he didn't think anything was wrong with Janari until her mother came back and noticed that she was limp, according to court records. #not my words. Then the autopsy results came in. So not only do they have this concocted, lying ass story that he came up with, here comes the autopsy report. Here it goes. A forensic pathologist determined that 4-year-old Janari that you see on the right-hand side of my screen died from what we already knew, which was blunt force trauma to her abdomen, which is why he said that he tried to give her CPR to her abdomen, which is not how you give CPR, stupid ass. He will hit this baby in the stomach and try to make up a story and say, oh, I was giving her stomach compressions to get water. I thought she swallowed water. Like, what? Died from blunt force trauma to her abdomen, which caused her to have massive internal bleeding, according to court documents. Hashtag not my words. The pathologist said the fatal injury most likely came from a punch or a kick so hard that it ruptured this baby's liver and spleen. I'm going to say that again. Ruptured her liver and spleen. Not and or, both. The girl's body. Okay. Oh, God. Oh, God. Guys, I just read the rest of this report. Let me see how many people we have watching. I got to warn y'all about something. Okay. The number went up a little bit. We got 631 people watching. I need to be very transparent with you guys. For the people who can't handle this, I want y'all to remember two things. First of all, I'm about to give you some details that are just details. This is just what actually happened to this poor, poor little baby. All we have to do is listen to the story of what happened. Yes, Pam Holmes, that's what I'm getting ready to talk about. All we have to do as an audience is share the story and listen to the story, because this baby's story is important. So that is going to be your forewarning that I'm about to give you guys some very graphic details that you may or may not be able to handle about what actually caused this little girl's death. It's going to get very graphic, and if you cannot handle it, then I'm encouraging you guys to just pause the video, exit the channel. But don't flag, don't get mad, don't say that you did not know that I was getting ready to give you guys some very, very detailed information. If you guys are ready for me to move forward, please let me know. Confirm that you heard what I just said. Please. We are live, and I need to know that you guys understand that I'm about to give you guys some very difficult to digest information as to what happened to this 4-year-old baby. You got about 15 seconds if you need to leave. If you got kids in the room, if your kids don't need to hear this, you got about 15 seconds to leave. Here we go. The autopsy results came in, and this is what they found. A forensic pathologist determined that 4-year-old Janari died from blunt force trauma to her abdomen, which caused massive internal bleeding, according to court records. The pathologist said that the fatal injury most likely came from a punch or a kick so hard that it ruptured Janari's liver and spleen. But here's what I did not say. The girl's body also showed signs of prior abuse. Prior signs of abuse. Bruising, scars, and human bite marks, bruising, scars, and human bite marks. She had a rib fracture that had healed. This baby is 4 years old. She had a rib fracture in addition to all of that other stuff that had healed. And vaginal trauma consistent with having an object being inserted, similar to a finger, was evident, police said in court documents. Y'all ask me, how do I sleep? A lot of times I can't. I don't know how I've been able to stay sane doing this. I don't know. But I just do it because I feel like it's important. I'm not going to even read that again. A search of Steele's room at the Sheraton Hotel. Again, why are they at a goddamn hotel? A search of the hotel room at the Sheraton Hotel also failed to support his story. For example, police said that all of the hotel room towels in the bathroom were dry, which debunks his bath theory. All of the bathroom towels were dry, and a pair of Janari's underwear left there was clean, contradicting Steele's claim that he had to bathe the girl because she peed on herself. Liar, liar. Everything suggested that Steele abused and then killed the toddler, according to police. So they obtained a warrant to arrest him for murder, setting off a search as of that late Friday and remained ongoing. Police have declined to discuss Janari's case outside of the court documents. But according to the records, police said that 4-year-old Janari, who is not Steele's daughter, was in good health when her mother left him with the toddler. A 1-year-old sibling and a teen relative with Steele while she went to a party. Guys, sometimes you just can't be this level of dumb. And it's really hard for me to believe I'm even reading what I'm reading sometimes. I'm going to see if some of y'all in the chat caught what I just said. Let me see who catches what I just said first. Y'all are asking where the mom was. I'm going to read this again and I'm going to tell y'all exactly where the mom was, which is why I believe, thank you Mookie Lolo. Mookie Lolo caught it. This is why I believe that the mother ain't shit and the mother probably needs to be arrested for neglect too. For so many reasons. Janari, who is not Steele's daughter, was in good health when her mother left the toddler and a 1-year-old sibling and a teen relative with Steele while she went to a goddamn party. She went to a party so she could go attract some more random dick while her thug dick is at the hotel watching her kids doing God knows what to these kids with no accountability. and no biological father in sight, so she could go party. When the mother came back at 5 a.m., oh my God, this just gets worse and worse. Guys, I used to be in the club before I had my daughter, before I had my kids. MTGV caught it. 5 a.m. The clubs in most places turn the lights on at 1:45 a.m. How many of y'all knew that? Maybe some of y'all don't go to the club. They turn the lights on sometimes at 1:30, sometimes at 1:45, because they have to have everybody outside of the building and out of the parking lot by 2 a.m. or the clubs or businesses or establishments could receive fines from the police. City fines. And they're really expensive fines. But the mother came back home at 5 a.m. She came back at 5 a.m. and noticed that Janari was limp and unresponsive. She frantically asked her thug, Steele, what had happened. And his only explanation was that the toddler fell in the bathtub and hurt her lip. Citing interviews with people who had been around him, police say that Steele began acting suspiciously almost immediately. I'll come back to that here in just a moment. Who said what in the chat, Keyshawn? Bronxside Jones. What did Bronxside Jones ask? I can't see it. Where is it at? Bronxside Jones said, those are your queens. Did I miss something that Bronxside Jones said? I don't know. Let me see. Oh, I think I kind of understand what Bronxside Jones is saying, but let's let that ride out for right now. That's okay for now. OKC clubs lights come on at 1:45. Yes, they do, and in some clubs they come on at 1:30. But anyway, let's keep going. But C. Nelson, shout out to the old city in the building. I see you. What's happening? He immediately started acting suspicious. He allegedly begged Janari's mother not to call 911 and tried to stop her from leaving the hotel room to meet paramedics, saying Child Protective Services might take the kids away again. The reason why I reread these sentences and these lines is because that's how crazy some of these details are. He begged the mother not to call 911, and he physically tried to stop her from leaving the hotel room, which is a crime in itself, to meet paramedics, saying that Child Protective Services might take the kids away again. Might take the kids away again. And one would have to ask, now that information is out there, is what did the kids get taken for in the first place? And if the kids got taken, then how did you get custody of the kids again if they were taken? Because they had to have been taken for something bad. Right? He said again. The mother ultimately pushed Steele and met the paramedics in the hotel lobby. The girl was taken to University Medical Center where she was pronounced dead. Steele acted even more strangely outside of the hospital, according to what those around him told police. Steele remained in his car and reclined his seat as if he were trying to hide from the rest of the girl's mother's family, who had shown up to the hospital in solidarity. He allegedly told the teen relative who had been with him and Gennari, "Remember what I told you," as the teenager walked into the hospital. Police didn't elaborate on what the remark may have meant, but the family regarded it, along with the rest of his behavior, as unusual, investigators wrote in court documents. Police tried to re-interview Steele after the autopsy, but they could not find him because this pussy is on the loose. He's on the run. They don't know where he is. Attempts to contact Gennari's mother have been unsuccessful. You know why? Because she can't stand up for putting her kids in this dangerous situation. Investigators on Tuesday obtained a warrant to arrest Steele on counts of second-degree murder and cruelty to juveniles. Police released his name to the public on Thursday and asked for help in finding him. Steele would face a mandatory life imprisonment if later convicted of murdering Gennari. The girl's funeral was Friday in Houma. Anyone with information about Steele's whereabouts can call Crime Stoppers at 504-822-1111, and tipsters may be eligible for a cash reward. But fuck that cash reward. I want y'all to make sure, and if y'all see this bastard out anywhere, I want him caught and I want him arrested. Let me let you guys listen to the single news video. Why this is not national news is beyond me. I'm going to let y'all listen to the one news video. The one short news video that was on this story. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. I agree. I think the mother should face charges too. And to Julie M., said screw that reward or F that reward. That's really, I can't. I'm trying to cut down on the F-bombs for me. But you said F that reward, and I 100% agree. Don't do it for no damn reward. Do it because it's the right damn thing to do. The one news video. Let's get it.
New Orleans police say they're looking for a man wanted in the death of a 4-year-old girl. They're looking for Anthony Devontae Steele. He's this man on your screen. He's wanted for 1 count of second-degree murder and another count of second-degree cruelty to juveniles and the death of Gennari Hawkins. It happened October 3rd in the 500 block of Canal Street. The Orleans Parish Coroner says Hawkins died from blunt force trauma. Anyone with information on Steele's whereabouts is asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number is 822-1111. Former St. John the...
Guys, I'm going to wrap this up real nice and sweet. And I'm going to say what I've been saying all year long. Hashtag live by the thug, die by the thug. Hashtag stupid is as stupid thugs. Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. Hashtag TTO and TTT, which means take the ovaries, take the testicles, and get rid of those objects out of these individuals. Hashtag hood hoes love hood dick, mom. Hashtag no jail time, give them hell time. It seems that something is just very, very wrong here. And the fact that you have this dude who allegedly admitted, according to what they're saying, is that this mother already had lost custody of these kids for some reason. Which makes me wonder where the dads are of these kids. And it makes me wonder where the parents are. Who got custody? How did they give custody back to this woman who was doing bad enough as a parent, was a terrible parent, so much so that she lost custody in the first place. Now a kid is dead. And if you ask me, if you put your kid in the thug zoo, you take your kid to the thug zoo and you take your kid and pick him up and put him inside the thug lion cage, and that thug lion ends up mauling your kid and killing your kid, then if you ask me, you should be an accessory to murder. You put your child in harm's way. And I think that the mother should be arrested, the mother should be charged, this dude should be found, and I personally believe that somebody knows where he's at, and somebody needs to turn him in. If you're too scared to turn him in, call me. I'll turn his ass in. Call somebody. Call Ghostbusters. But call some damn body and turn that fool in before he end up doing something to somebody else's kid. He needs to be held accountable, and he needs to go straight to hell if he's guilty of what they've accused him of. And I tend to believe that he is guilty. Let me get off of him for a moment and let me reflect on this baby. This poor, innocent, beautiful angel could not speak for herself, nor could she defend herself against the tyranny of her own caretakers. This baby deserved a better mother. Let me get him off my screen. I don't want to see his goddamn face. This baby deserved a better mother. This baby deserved to have a father in her life. This baby deserved to have stability. This baby deserved to have protection. She deserved love. She deserved attention. She deserved the best. All of our children deserve an opportunity to grow up and become something great. And when we rob our children and the world of opportunities to do that, people need to be held accountable. These people do not need to be parents. These people do not need to be around kids. If you have to have a license to drive and have a license to do all of these things in life, then why is it that we don't have any requirements for people to be parents? The only thing that qualified this man to be a so-called stepfather to this little girl and be a babysitter, more or less, to this little girl, is the fact that mom liked sleeping with that thug. She liked having sex with that thug and this murderer and this killer. Mom liked the dude. And she just said, screw her kids. The mom didn't give a damn about this little girl. She like, I don't care who watches him. I don't care what you do. I'm going to the club so I can go get some dudes to rub on my booty and buy me random drinks that I don't know if they're spiked or not, so I can go get me some attention from some more thugs besides just this one thug. The mom is a hood rat. The mom needs to suffer too. The mom needs to be called out. And believe me, if I knew the mom's name and if I had the mom's picture, there's a good chance that DJ Just J will put her information out there because she's a bad mom. But I digress. Maybe that day will come soon. Maybe the police out there in this area will do the right thing and bring the mom up on charges. Maybe us as a society will start feeling like our kids are important enough that we need to make sure that anybody who put these kids in a dangerous position needs to be held accountable. Anybody and everybody. All people have to pay when they are guilty of putting their children in harm's way. If you can't agree with that, then I don't know what to say to you. But one thing I can say is I can end it with this. I'm going to pick my favorite picture of this beautiful little angel right here, which is this picture right here. And I'm going to say, to this little girl right here, Janari Hawkins. I want to make sure and put some respect on her name. To this beautiful little baby, Janari Hawkins, 4 years old. What an amazing, amazing, beautiful angel smile. Young princess, R.I.P. This is your boy DJ Just J. We're the AFC, where we're going to continue to fight for our babies and we're going to continue to fight for justice. And if y'all know where he's at, like I said, if you know where he's at, reach out to me. Telephone, tell a friend, let's network, let's get his ass up off the streets and get him brought up on the charges that he deserves. He needs to be held accountable and he needs to be found immediately. From my heart to yours, I love you guys. Y'all have a blessed night. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel where we hopefully can bring you an update to this story and at least give us a start on getting justice by getting this man in jail. Like, share, subscribe to the AFC podcast. We put our babies first over here, man. Y'all have a blessed night. You said what city? New Orleans. I don't know if they're from New Orleans, but this says New Orleans. I can tell y'all this. If I was in New Orleans right now, I would definitely be using my connections out there to try to figure out where this dude is at. If I was out there right now, I'd be looking for this asshole. Not say too much. I don't want to get in too much trouble, man. But thank all of you guys. Thank you so much. My head hurts right now. I can't thank everybody who donated, but most of you guys, as y'all donated, I think I shouted you all out. But if you guys would, man, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for supporting. That's going to be the end of our stream. If you guys would like to join the channel membership, then you can actually do it by way of clicking that super chat button. And if you can find it in your budget to be able to be a channel member, you could do it for as little as $1.99, which I think that's like 6 cents a day if you're able to find it in your budget. If not, then you guys can always click that thumbs up, support our channel, support our message, support our babies more than anything, man. Y'all have a great night from my heart to yours. I love you all, channel members, moderators, people who subscribe. Have a blessed night. Peace.
Nora's Authentic Designer has some of the most glamorous and stylish handbags your girl has ever seen. So ladies, if you want to get fly, and fellas, if you want to take care of your lady, please be sure to go to www.noras915.com. www.noras915.com. That's right, www.noras915.com.
Hello, listeners. Come mask up with Keyline Designs, where you reap what we sow. We offer essential handcrafted face masks made with 100% cotton, equipped with a built-in filter and a slot for refillable filters. Our masks have many uses, like riding motorcycles, ATVs, while out in public places, outside exercising, lawn and gardening, and helps prevent the spread of germs. We offer bling, sports logos, monograms, many assorted fabrics and colors. We make child-sized masks starting at the age of 2. Come join us today for the launch of our new website at keylinedesigns.com. Please be sure to like and follow our page on Facebook. Our links can be found in the description box of this video. Thank you.